Bror Fredrik coming at you with another video from my studio here in fabulous Las Vegas. It is Monday, November 6th, so you know what that means. It is time for the news. We got a lot of stuff to cover, everything from F1, road closures, new events happening, new places opening, and a couple of WTF, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. So let's go hop over to the computer and get into it right now. First up, we have Blake Shelton's new venue opening up. You've seen it plenty of times while we're out doing lives. I've showed you the construction almost from when it was a hole in the ground all the way up. And finally, I found an artist rendition. So let's check this place out. I mean, it looks pretty cool. They cleaned up the strip pretty nice. Is that actually a working escalator? That's got to be Photoshop, because we know the escalators don't run in Las Vegas for the most part, and that looks way too clean. But let's focus in on that. Let's not focus in on the negative. Let's focus in on the positive. I mean, the place looks pretty hot. I ain't gonna lie. I was in Nashville a few days, well, it was about a week and a half ago to 2 weeks ago, I forget. But I went to his spot. This is Old Red in Nashville, and it was pretty awesome. I'm not a huge country fan, although, you know, being in Nashville kind of swayed me into enjoying more country music, especially since I found Jelly Roll and a few, you know, of the likes like that, and I'm getting into it, and I had a great time over there. They had this thing going on where you could see the band from all 3 floors. It's like an open air thing with a tractor hanging in, and you can look down, and it should be, let people saying, I don't know if it's country music, place like that's gonna survive in Las Vegas. Me? I'm going to say yes. I think the town needs it. I think the town needs the atmosphere, places for people to go. There is a pretty big Midwest contingent that comes out here, and who doesn't want to see Daisy Dukes and cowboy boots and all that type of stuff? It'll be fun, and that, you know, that place is going to be absolutely packed when the rodeos and Western events come around. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, if I'm honest. I mean, I'm going to take you there for the grand opening. We'll have fun, but to see this rendition, I'm kind of getting excited about it. I'm not going to lie. Kind of cool also that they have this outdoor deck out there. Too bad it's not going to be done in time for F1, maybe for the Super Bowl. I don't know what the date is. Let me see if they have the date up there. Cost them $30 million. Well, it might be open for the Super Bowl. Officially open its doors in January 2024. All right, so that's something to look forward to. Shout out Blake Shelton and Old Red. I'll see you there. Next up, we have Rod Stewart announcing his final shows for his 13-year residency. I honestly did not know he was here this long, if I'm totally honest. I did not know. I've never been to a show, but, you know, I am familiar with the music. I remember them playing it growing up when I was a kid and whatnot. What is he, like 90? How old is this guy? I'm sure they're going to say. So, excuse me, it's Sir Rod Stewart, a true rock legend. Does it say his age? I don't know. Someone can look it up. But his last concerts are going to be from July 24th to August 7th. All right, 13-year residency. Shout out him. At first, I was saying, a couple people corrected me on that. I was saying things like, you know, isn't it about time to retire and things like that? But, you know, someone corrected me, and I gave in, and I'm saying, if you enjoy what you're doing, why not? I'm sure it's not about the money for him. It's just about being in public. And if I was an artist and I was in the public eye all the time, I guess once I decided to retire, that would be a little bit of a kick to the nads for the old ego and whatnot. I still want to be out there in public, and what the hell else is he going to do? Sit by the pool or something? So he's going to have fun. Check him out. I don't know if I'm going to be perfectly honest, but it is what it is for you Rod Stewart fans out there. This should be fun. I'll take you over to the Miracle Mile shops when Lost City debuts, which is supposed to be like a 3D show down by, you know, where the rainfall was with the bridge and in the center with the big tall showgirl and all that. It should be pretty cool. I don't know, a 3D projection thing. I don't know the times. I don't know the opening dates quite yet. But I'll make a 4K and we'll go check it out live and do all this stuff. But that's fun. They should do something with that area. It was kind of missing ever since the shutdown, and they shut down the waterfall thing, and then it started to stink. And then, you know, I think live we actually saw a homeless person in there taking a shower, and, you know, it got a little sketchy. So they did a redo of the sound system not too long ago. That's why I don't go in there too often, to be perfectly honest, because it just got stupid loud with copyright music. But that should be fun. So we'll go in there and we'll check that out soon, promise. Here's a story in the WTF category, like what the actual F. A Las Vegas teacher, she was a substitute teacher. She's accused of forcing 2 kids to make out as the whole class watched. The thinking behind it, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. But honestly, we do have to vet the people who are teaching our kids, and not just in Vegas, but everywhere, from nursery school all the way to college and beyond. We're giving access to our greatest resource, our youth, to just about anyone, willy-nilly. Maybe it's the powers that be want certain people in those positions. Maybe there's a shortage. I don't know what is going on. But these people truly need to be vetted, because before they do more harm, making children kiss in class. I'm not sure what that was supposed to demonstrate, whether it was a punishment, whether she's just a weirdo. I have no idea, but it happens far too often here in Las Vegas, and probably far too often where you guys are too. And schools, especially public schools, well, even paid schools too, are kind of turning into brick and mortar TikToks, you know, just total mental illness factories. And I hope we get a grip on it soon. Otherwise, we're going to have more situations like this. Imagine your kid comes home and said, "Hey, my teacher made me kiss so-and-so." It didn't say whether it was same sex or whatever. I don't even want to read it. That's just nasty. And she was a substitute teacher too. But forcing kids to kiss while other students recorded it. WTF. And in more WTF, we have one of these people right here. You know what that means. 304 that accepts money in exchange for 304 activities. Yet another one. I keep telling people, all right, if I'm not going to condemn people or guys who are into, how would I say, pay to play, but fellas, come on, or ladies, whatever you're into, but come on, be a little cautious. I mean, I have shown you story after story after story of situations like this where you meet someone at the Buffalo Machine and, you know, negotiation takes place, or maybe not. Maybe, if you live under a rock, it's kind of an innocent thing, but in the grand scheme of things, most people know what's what. And yeah, come on up to my room. They don't put anything in the safe, even if they do. These are the type of things that could happen. So avoid these situations. I don't want to condemn people, but it is seriously getting dangerous, because a lot of these workers, as they're calling them here, are predatory, and they have rings, and they have, like little gangs and people behind the scenes to back them up. But it's getting crazy. And the funny thing is, women are starting to take the lives of their quote-unquote Johns in these situations. I mean, just check out this article. Attempted, I can't read these things. Not only was she, doing this here, she was just like, F it. Leave no witnesses behind. Unbelievable. And this took place right inside Caesars. The guy claims that He did indeed meet her downstairs, and he was an older man with mobility issues. He was in a scooter or whatever, stole thousands of dollars from the dude, and then proceeded to just thump him. Absolutely thump him. Unbelievable. Be careful out there. And this is the individual accused of such act. Yeah, met him on the casino floor. Well, where else? But, come on. Just stop. Just stop. Go to the gym, work out, learn a few jokes, and meet some normal women. You don't have to pay, fellas. Come on now. I'm looking at you. Okay, back to things on a little lighter note. The Rio. Now, people would say maybe that's not a lighter note because the Rio is this, that, and the other thing. Half the people that rag on the Rio, quite frankly, probably haven't even been there. But it does have a reputation, and it is, it's long in the tooth, but they are renovating it and doing all such sorts of stuff, including this. This is the new, I think this is an artist rendering as well of the new food hall over at the Rio. And like I always say, if it was not for the buffet if it wasn't for a lot of things, I mean, let's just be real. If it wasn't for a lot of things over at the Rio were the first people to come up with the all-suite concept. The rest of the town followed suit with larger rooms and suites and more luxury. That's all thanks to the Rio. And the idea of the gourmet buffet was started at the Rio, too. I remember when it was, people's heads were exploding. Oh, my God, $35. Yeah, but hey, I could eat all the shrimp, lobster, and crab that I ever wanted. They started the more luxury buffet experience over there. I had an extraordinarily negative experience there. Didn't have to do with the food, though. There's a video somewhere. Just search Rio. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing fine dining in like Wicked Spoon, at Bacchanal, at the Wynn, and several other places where you could enjoy high-end food in a buffet setting. So the Rio kind of kicked that off. But they're going in a different direction with this new food hall. I guess that's vogue now. God forbid you call it a food court. I mean, I get it. Because people think food court, that means McDonald's and Wendy's and Fat Tuesdays and those type of places. So food hall has this connotation of a little, upper end. But we went to the one, where was it? Over by the new Durango not too long ago, and I kind of digged it. It was nice. It was set up similar to this right here, which is pretty freaking cool. Like sort of like a warehouse setting, and there's different stations in there, and you can order from your table and they come out and bring it to you, and they got bars and all this other stuff. And this is in the exact location where the buffet used to be, which, let me see, it's on the west entrance of the property. So, I'm looking forward to checking that out too. Again, everything is opening January. I mean, it remains to be seen, but they are also saying they're going to be open on January 2024. I haven't been in the Rio in a long time, so we'll have to check that out. And it goes into details, yada, 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 family favorite, blah, blah, blah. But if it's reasonable, if it's clean, if it's nice, we'll go, it might be a spot. It might be a cool spot to hang out and do AMAs and have coffee and all that good stuff. We'll soon find out. All right, people, we got to mention this here. F1. I got to throw in an F1 story. Incentives are rolling out for rideshare. People thought it was just going to be for taxis, this new incentive, quote unquote. It's an incentive for the drivers, not for you, that it has now extended into rideshare as well, because drivers of both taxi cabs and Ubers are like, F this. This is going to be an enormous pain in the butt to shuttle people around during F1, and they'll probably do it again during the Super Bowl, but they know that people are straight up not going to show up. So what they've done, and they call it an incentive, they are adding a $15 surcharge to every Uber, every Lyft, and every taxi ride that you, tourists, locals, whatever, happen to take. So be prepared to reach in your pocket and add $15 on top of all the other service fees out there. It's going to start getting expensive. And you know what? Never let a good thing like this go to waste. They just might roll that out for every major event and say, well, it's an incentive to keep our drivers there. Once the genie is out of the bottle, it is really hard to put it back in. So expect that for the Super Bowl. Expect that for high attendancy conventions. Expect that for concerts. That'll start to be the norm. And what they're doing, too, is they're doing if you're a lease driver, they're giving the drivers 100% of that money. If you're just an employee driver, you're going to get, I think, 43 or 45% of it. So it is, it's an incentive, because if you're driving during F1 and they're predicting that international people who are coming here are just not going to tip, I mean, I get it. The tipping culture is not the same. The tipping culture here in America is completely freaking out of control. And they feel that the drivers won't get tips. They'll be doing less rides because it's going to take longer to get. So if a driver does, 20 a day, let's say, he'll only be able to do like 8 based on all the traffic and all the shutdowns and the length and all that. So they're trying to like level the playing field so they actually show up to work and people get around. But trust me, once they do this, the genie's out of the bottle, and expect that almost as a norm. Another story that's kind of popularly unpopular. They attempted to do this on the Las Vegas Strip. The mayor, our illustrious mayor, proposes an order-out corridor criminal ban in downtown Las Vegas. They proposed it also for the actual Strip, and it fell on its face. ACLU and other activists came out and said, you can't do that, and blah, blah, blah. So I doubt it's going to happen downtown without a fight either. But the concept is that if you get even a misdemeanor offense, downtown Las Vegas, whatever it happens to be, you will not be allowed down there again. And I know, because I'm in the business of surveillance security and things like that downtown has a heavy presence of facial recognition and things like that. So don't think because you got a misdemeanor, you come back next month, they're going to forget all about you, because you'll just come up on a bolo, recognized by AI and all the rest of that. But will this work? Will this happen? I highly doubt it, but it sounds good in concept, because I don't want criminals roaming around downtown. I don't want criminals roaming around the Strip, and I don't want criminals roaming around my backyard either. They should just deal with that, and one way to do it is, should you get arrested, misdemeanor or above, you are not allowed back in Las Vegas. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but fingers crossed. This should actually be interesting to a lot of people. They're finally talking about free F1 watch parties. Clark County announces free F1 watch parties. Obviously, they're not going to be on the Strip. I'm going to be on the Strip. Hopefully, I'm going to get to stream the race in its entirety. I don't know if it's possible, but trust me, people, if it could be done, I will attempt to do it. That being said, they are doing some free watch parties all over town. They got a brief list of them. I'll go over a couple real quick. The Clark County Government Center Amphitheater. Doors open at 8. Race begins at 10. The opening ceremony screening, yada, yada, yada. That is on the west side of town. It's an outdoor event, so that should be interesting. Then we got the Water Street Plaza. Doors open at 8. Another outdoor event. No RSVP. Food trucks on site. Yada, yada, yada. Nillis Air Force Base. This one kind of surprised me. That's kind of cool, because Nillis Air Force Base is just boss. Now, the area around it is sketchy AF. I mean, it's one of the worst areas in Las Vegas, the area that surrounds the airport. But, take your Uber for an extra 15 bucks or whatever it is. You might want to go check that out. So these are alternatives if you can't afford. I think the cheapest seats that I found, I think standing room only for F1 is 500 bucks. But, you know, for the $30 cab or Uber ride, you can go see it for free. Well, on the screen anyway. So that is 3. Yeah, I think that was 3. You know what? I enjoy looking at this stuff, even though this is just lame ass ads. I enjoy looking at these sometimes. Garth Brooks' expensive divorce makes history. I don't think he's got Jeff Bezos beat, but yeah, so she took, I hope they have a prenup, but probably not, you know? Some people take pride. No, I love him. I love her so much. We're not doing a prenup. Get a freaking prenup and just be quiet. Not that those can't be broken either, but she took him for a boatload of freaking money, so expect to see him in Vegas trying to make up for that soon. What other stuff is down here? What was it, the 80s? Oh, hairstyles from back in the day? Yeah. What'd she do? Oh, she was arrested for that stuff? That's pretty bad. What else we got to look at? We'll just take a brief pause and check this out. Oh, yeah, it's the best toy ever for Christmas. Toxic whatevers. All right, let's get back into the news. But before we do that, I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 5 times a week. And if you want to support the channel, you know how to go about doing that. You can click on all the links down there. You can do all the stuff. I got the Cash App. I got the Venmo. I got the Patreon. I got channel members for additional discounts and additional members-only live streams, and the holidays are coming up, so I got all sorts of cool stuff down there. Just check out the links. Yes, I make a little commish if you do. Doesn't cost you a cent more, but that's a great way to support the channel because we got Olight, best damn flashlights known to man. I got Tej Hanley, and I got a bunch of new stuff coming in too that you're going to want to check out. Perfect for gift giving, perfect for looking your absolute best, but I do appreciate your support. Let's get back into it. All right, everyone, this is what we've kind of been waiting to hear. Culinary Union sets the strike deadline for 35,000 Las Vegas hospitality workers. These are your barmaids, your barbacks, your porters, your janitors, kind of the same thing. Room service, that is the people who clean your rooms, that is housekeeping, 35,000 strong to keep Las Vegas from looking like an absolute dump while you're here, are set to go on strike at 5 a.m. Well, that's the deadline, 5 a.m. on Thursday. If it does happen, I will find out. I will even wake up early to go see if it does happen or not. But I'll keep an eye. I'll drink some highly caffeinated coffee or espresso. I'll stay up all night to see what happens. From what I've seen so far, the only corporation that hasn't truly bent the knee yet is MGM Properties. Caesars announced that they're ready to cough up the largest raise in Culinary Union history. The Win said, you know, we're working towards it. You know, we feel we can come up with something. MGM is just like, shut up, guys. You know, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. It remains to be seen, and MGM is, I think, the largest employer of these 35,000. So we'll see what happens. But the deadline for them to get a contract signed is 5 a.m. this coming Thursday, which is November 10th. So that could be absolutely devastating based on the fact that F1 is starting. Now, if it goes another day or two, so be it. Bring them back to the table. I don't know what's going to happen, but, you know, I hope these people do get paid. I'm not big into unions shutting down cities, companies, highways, or anything like that to further their own objectives. But in this case, these are the lowest paid workers in all of Las Vegas. They are the backbone, and I think they deserve more than like $12 an hour, don't you? And last but not least, if you saw a live stream, what was it? I think Saturday night, I showed you what these are. These are barriers that they put in the bridges over the strip and between the casinos. At first, they put that little like paper mache stuff that people couldn't look and see the race for free or see what's going on. And then they decided, heck, we'll just build these like cages. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I've been through them. You've been through them with me. They look like chicken coops. They have chicken wire and metal pipes and bright lights and all this other stuff. In a move that Clark County said was for safety reasons during F1, a film was added to the pedestrian bridges on the strip. I call BS because we touched that stuff. Here's a piece of paper. It was like this. It tears this easy. It peels this easy. There's no protection being provided by that stuff. It was totally to block people's view. So people were peeling it up from the edges, especially over by the sphere, because for people who don't want to walk all the way to the sphere like we always do, you can just look from that bridge, see what's what. Now you can't. And on top of that, saying that it's for safety purposes, which is total BS. It's just to block. But doesn't that sound ugly? They don't want you seeing, they don't even want you getting a glimpse for free. If you're not paying, you're not seeing. So they put that up in anticipation of that. What I did notice, however, is when the lights are on inside, they've structured it in such a way, and with the new film, you can't see anything. You cannot, it doesn't matter how close you get to the glass, you are literally not seeing that race. You are not seeing anything. And on top of that, which I guess is kind of cool, from the outside, you can see in. So it's like sort of like a one-way glass type of situation. So that's pretty cool. But what pissed me off about it is they went so far as to say it was us locals that went and tore that down. Trust me, me and my friends, me and my neighbors did not go down to the strip and start peeling off large swaths of that paper mache that they were saying it was for safety. If a tire comes off a Red Bull car and heads for the bridge, a piece of paper ain't going to save you. The glass might slow it down, but then you got glass in your face. Maybe that was the idea at best case scenario, but those things are designed like windshields, not to shatter into shards anyway. So again, I call BS, but you ain't seeing the race. That's why I wanted to give you those three alternatives. If you happen to be in town or if you're a local and you do want to see the race, there are ways to do it, but be aware that the bridges over are not going to be one of them. Well, that wraps up the news. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you watching till the end. That's really important for me. And what's also important, once again, doing all the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and hitting that bell button. And don't forget my sponsors, which are T. Shanley and Olight. And I got a few more jumping on board, like I said. And this channel and these news segments and everything else that I do here from the Bror Fredrik Network is sponsored by the likes of you. So I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate hanging out with you. And don't forget, we have a, what's coming up? Drive and chat time. I think we're going to do drive and chat tomorrow because I think we have to check out the bridge over Flamingo over Coville. It's been open for a week. I've not gotten to drive there, so maybe we'll start a little early while it's light out. But I love driving chats, and I think you guys do too. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again in our next studio episode or out on the strip or whatever we happen to do. I just want to make it exciting and fun for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying the content too. And I love you guys. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.